In the days following the tragic terror attack of September 11, a Muslim EMT with the New York Fire Department named Mohammed Salman Hamdani was reported missing. His mother, Talath, desperate to find her son, appealed directly to the President of the United States. But instead of receiving assistance or sympathy, she received suspicion. Federal law enforcement came to his home and confiscated photos. Local law enforcement put up wanted flyers for him. Their member of Congress interrogated them, saying Salman could be detained if found. The media swarmed their home with one tabloid headline reading, "Missing or hiding," under a photo of Salman. 6 months later, Salman Hamdani's remains and medical equipment were discovered at Ground Zero. Salman, it turned out, saw the smoke coming out of the towers and hurried to the scene to help victims of that tragic day. After 6 months, his name was finally cleared and he was recognized as the hero he was. Not all of us are as heroic as Salman Hamdani, but nearly every Muslim American has experienced this type of suspicion in their lives. 5 years later, when the first Muslim American, Keith Ellison, was elected to Congress, his Republican colleagues sent a letter saying Americans need to, quote, "wake up, or else there will likely be many more Americans elected to office." And he was told on live TV, quote, to prove that he was not working with our enemies. My own experience was similar. When I first ran for public office, I was told to take off my hijab if I wanted to have the chance of winning my election. I was too Muslim, was the thinking. When I did eventually win, I remember winning my primary, and as people celebrated, worrying that if the Republicans ended up winning the majority, would I get the opportunity to be sworn in? Because I didn't trust that they would lift the ban that existed for 183 years in this country. And I remember getting a phone call the day after my election from now Speaker Pelosi, and her saying, "Congratulations, Ilhan. Is there anything that we can help you with?" And I said, "Leader Pelosi, I am worried that now that I've won my election, they won't let me get sworn in as a member of Congress because I wear hijab." And I remember her telling me not to worry about that, because in the people's house, that I, as a Muslim woman, regardless of my hijab, would have a place. On my first day, as I got sworn in, my then colleague, Stephen King, claimed another member said of my hijab that there might be 4 pounds of C4 under it that would wipe out half of Congress. The truth is that Islamophobia pervades our culture, our politics, and even policy decisions. Cable news hosts, leading politicians in the Republican Party routinely spout hateful rhetoric about a religion that includes a diverse group, more than 1 billion peaceful worshipers around the world. This includes falsely claiming Muslims want to replace the Constitution and implement Sharia law, portraying Muslims as inherently violent, suggesting that Muslim women are oppressed and that Muslims hate other religions. But the most pervasive is the constant suggestion that all Muslims are terrorists and should be feared. So when a sitting member of Congress calls a colleague member of the jihad squad and falsifies a story to suggest that I will blow up the Capitol, it is not just an attack on me, but on millions of American Muslims across this country. We, of course, know that this isn't the first incident. In May, she said, "My colleagues and I are politicians with suicide belts strapped to their bodies." She asked if Congresswomen and I should register as foreign agents, invoking a hateful dual loyalty trope. And today we learned that she had fabricated a similar story about riding an elevator with me, calling me and Rashida evil and dark-hearted. I wish I could say the Congresswoman was an outlier, but I cannot. During his campaign for presidency, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "We have a problem in this country, and it's called Muslims." He attacked Khizr and Ghazala Khan, the parents of slayed Muslim service member Humayam Khan. He explicitly promised to ban anyone of Muslim faith from the country and then put forth a series of executive orders seeking to do just that. Meanwhile, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, now a member of Congress, who came to my office in 2019, harassed my staff, demanding that my colleague, Rashida Tlaib, and I retake our oath of office on a Christian Bible. That says a lot about somebody who says she believes in the Constitution, because she obviously hasn't read it. Just today, she called me a pro-Al-Qaeda, bloodthirsty, and an apologist for Islamic terrorists. We cannot pretend that this hate speech from leading politicians doesn't have real consequences. The truth is that anti-Muslim hate is on the rise both here at home and around the world. This summer, we witnessed a deadly anti-Muslim attack wipe out 3 generations of a Muslim family in Canada. In 2019, a white nationalist opened fire at multiple mosques in New Zealand, killing over 50 people. The first half of this year alone saw over 500 incidents of anti-Muslim hate here in the United States. I myself have reported hundreds of threats on my life, often triggered by Republican attacks on my faith. And this week, once again, we saw another increase. I'm going to play you a voicemail that we received hours after I got off the phone with Representative Boebert after she posted her video.
We see you Muslim sin nigger bitch. We know what you're up to. You're all about taking over the country. Don't worry, there's plenty that will love the opportunity to take you off the face of this fucking earth. Come get it, bitch, you fucking Muslim piece of shit, you jihadist. We know what you are. You're a fucking traitor. You will not live much longer, bitch. I can almost guarantee you that. We, the people, are rising up, and you will be tried for a military tribunal, and you will be found guilty.
For those of you who did not hear it very well, let me read you what the voicemail says. We see you, sand N-word bitch. We know what you are up to. You are all about taking over our country. Don't worry, there is plenty that would love the opportunity to take you off the face of this effing earth. Come get it. But you are effing Muslim piece of shit. You are jihadist. We know what you are. You are effing traitor, and you will not live any longer. Condemning this should not be a partisan issue. This is about our basic humanity and fundamental rights of religious freedom enshrined in our Constitution. Yet while some members of the Republican Party have condemned this, to date, the Republican Party leadership has done nothing to hold their members accountable. It is time for the Republican Party to actually do something, to confront anti-Muslim hatred in its ranks and hold those who perpetuate it accountable. I will close with this. It was never an option for me to take off my hijab and run. And that should never be something that a Muslim woman or a girl in this country has to contemplate if she wants to enter public life. Because I know that when we proudly stand up for our values, when we celebrate the diversity of this country and the freedoms enshrined in our Constitution, others stand with us. And so today, we are asking for our colleagues to stand up and to stand with us. Thank you.